Recording in progress.
I would have been ready to come home like
That's good.
the 30th yet, kind of.
It's 7 right now.
Little verse in it.
Call this meeting of the city council to order. We'll start with the pledge.
Is a republic for which stands one nation under God, Amen.
Now you've all seen the agenda and get a motion to approve the agenda.
I will make that motion, please.
I get a second?
Second.
Jonathan seconds. Starting with Ryan.
Yes.
Derek. Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Done.
Yes.
Okay, carries 5-0. Then we'll go on to visitors. First one on the agenda is John Olson.
I'm here representing what was the American Legion here in Battle Lake. As of April 15th, we closed it, turned in our charter. Pretty hard to run a meeting without a quorum. And we went many months that way. So, managed to get it closed. We've been supporting the Veterans Memorial with flags and things. And we won't be able to do that anymore, obviously. According to Virgil Jensen, he said the city was supposed to furnish them in the first place. And for whatever reason, the Legion was doing it. So when we closed, what we did, we had some money left over. The bank account had to be zeroed. We gave some money to them, a little bit of money to the Clitheroe Township Memorial also. And it's earmarked for flags.
Now you said you gave money to them. Who is them?
The Veterans Memorial.
Oh, there's a separate entity for the Veterans Memorial?
No, the Veterans Memorial is a separate entity from the American Legion.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Okay.
separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
So we disperse money to them, and whenever that runs out, the city's gonna have to step up, because we don't have a Legion to do it. The VFW is long gone, that's years ago. So, and according to Virgil Jensen, that was supposed to be the way it was in the beginning, that the city's responsible for it. There is some issues on the pole itself that needs to be taken care of. It. If your guy would talk to me about that, we can figure that out. So that's basically all I really want to tell you. If you got any questions. So just a matter of can't function without having a meeting. Can't raise money, can't spend money, you know. So, unfortunate. When I was talking, just so you know, when I was talking to the area commander, or vice commander, I guess, he was telling me that starting listing the names of posts that were closing. Perm is one of them, Rossi is another one. There was 3 or 4 others that he mentioned that I can't remember. So it's a thing that is happening. We can't seem to get the young guys to come and be a part. And we tried, didn't work. So, any questions?
I just have one. What you talk? First, thanks for your service and thanks for contributing for all these years. And any members that are still part of the organization, make sure, I don't want to speak for the whole council, but for myself, make sure they know that we appreciate what you guys have done for the park for decades. Do you talked about money a little bit. Did you guys have like an annual cost that you would contribute to that part? I mean, just, I don't have any feel for what it would
Okay.
cost.
Okay, so the money that we take in is the money we charge for, engraving a name.
Okay,
And I think that charge is about $150 now. Cost us $125 to get it engraved, so there's very little money raised that way. We did put in 2 new stones, and the Lions gave us money for that. I can't remember what the money was, but
Sure.
the 2 end stones that don't have many names on there.
your annual, the money that you guys would kind of do for annual meetings is like stone engraving, right, for any?
That's about it.
And flags, you said, or?
Well, the American Legion was giving them the flags, and the flags we fly are 5 by 8s, and they're $50 a piece out there. At least where we've been buying with the VFW in Fergus, I suppose.
So is the city gonna be responsible for getting the names engraved now? on the-
No.
That, someone else will do that?
I'm the chair of that Veterans Memorial Committee,
Okay,
no, we're doing that, it's just that we don't have money left over to be buying flags and all of that stuff, you know.
so basically what the city is gonna be responsible for is upkeep of the flag
And the pole.
and the pole, and then whether it needs to be flown at half staff, I'm guessing that too?
No, I have a crank and Chris, Hallberg has a crank,
So-
and we are responsible for watching that.
Okay,
But
we maintain the ground, I mean, we mow it.
Yeah,
already.
the point being, we don't have any extra money, other than the money that was given to the Memorial Committee for the purchase of flags, and when that does run out, and I'll be honest with you, it was about $1,800 that we gave. And when that does run out, you know, then it does run out.
As far as maintaining the monuments that are there, is that the city's?
Well, I don't know that there's much maintenance to it, other than, you know, the engraving that happens.
Which is gonna be taken care of?
That's taken care of, yes,
Okay.
yeah, so.
I just wanna make sure we know what we need to maintain and what we don't need
Yeah.
to maintain, I don't know. So
Well,
it sounds like basically we just gotta keep the flags.
Basically, and whatever in here, a year ago, 2 years ago, we had some cable replacement on it.
Yeah.
And there is a cable that, if you go by it, that loops around the bottom of the pole, and it's got weights on it that holds the bottom of the flag up to the pole. Well, the little plastic balls that are supposed to be on that cable, they all fell apart, and now what I did, I put in the cable binds when you crank it up, so I put a garden hose around it and taped it. We need to fix that, that's specifically what we need to fix, and there's some frayed cable that we should probably deal with, but things like that, but otherwise, no, it's mainly the only change really is the flags,
Okay.
so.
And when there's a new one needed, and when you guys run out of funds, I'm guessing you'll just come back to us, or whomever's up here and say, hey, we need to buy a flag, and, or maybe it's just in our operating budget, a park
I think
budget.
we should just budget that.
Yeah,
How many flags a year do you usually do you know?
Depends on the rain and the wind.
Yep.
If we get wind like this and rain, takes hard.
Yep.
But I think 4 to 5.
Okay.
I think generally 4 to 5, and I think probably at home, that's what I fly to. You know, and you can't let them get too tattered, you know. But if you're the boss, right?
Yep.
Write my number down and call me.
Yep.
You got
I
it?
got your number, I'm sure.
Okay, then I'll meet you and I'll show you what we gotta do on the pole.
Okay.
How's that? Does that work?
Yep.
Anybody else got a question or statement or?
I'll make a motion that we, take care of the maintenance of the flags and the pole. And you know who will be doing that, Trevor, with the park department, don't you?
And does that include purchasing the flags? Is that what you're saying?
Well, once they run out of,
Once they run out of money, okay.
Yeah, it is earmarked for flags, so we aren't gonna spend it on anything else.
Well, we'll exhaust your money before we dig in our pockets.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll second that motion.
Marge second the motion. All those in favor, will say, Ryan?
Oh,
yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Don, are you a yes on that motion?
Yes.
Thank you. Carries, 5-0. The pickleball, portion, which we were gonna talk about at the park committee meeting tonight, got postponed until the June meeting.
I think these people are here to ask about the tennis court, using that again temporarily.
Are there any pickleball people?
Yeah, Rich.
Do I see any pickleball?
Yeah, right there. If you would, the stuff I submitted was a bunch of suggestions, because just bombing around the construction site where the pickleball courts are being worked on, it's not quite done, and there are people itching to play, itching to do whatever you would do on a flat surface in the middle of the meadow too, I guess. There have been people drawing chalk and whatever on there. And so I thought, well, it's not my park, it's not our park, we're trying, and I don't know, I'm married to a lawyer and I don't know why I didn't ask this question. We're kind of on the hook to make sure that it's done right, because we want to turn over a completed pickleball court facility to everybody. And in talking, not through the city, but Kurt from Galloping Goose suggested there was the skate shack. So all that stuff was put in a proposal, and then that was in an earlier packet. The park committee couldn't get together, and that's fine. But the last ask of that whole thing, it was just trying to come up with some sensible things that the parks committee could recommend to the city council. Here's how we expect the pickleball courts to be run by the city, through the parks committee's recommendations to you guys. That would include kind of making sure that we make you all aware of how it's done in other places, so that if someone says, well, we want to do this, well, in other places, here's how it's done, and you might want to put that in your pipe as you figure out how you're gonna make these things. But then the last ask was, since we're waiting for such time as that we can resurface those courts with the right final paint and lay concrete for the patio, all which is contracted and the money's apportioned and locked in for that, they're just waiting for the weather to cooperate. Can't have to go for a couple days to let that paint cure without being a danger of frost, which I know in Minnesota could mean, freaking 4th of July. We're guessing that we would love to start playing, not maybe next weekend, because we're hoping that they're in next week doing some of that work, but the weekend of Memorial Day would be a reasonable expectation if the guys can pour that pad and the paint can get on there. And in the meantime, people are saying, can we play on that court? I said, well, you can, but you can't call it pickleball. You can hit that thing around, but you have to call it like, oh, this is dodgeball. We're hitting at one another and not playing the game, which doesn't seem right. So it seems reasonable to ask you guys to suspend that at such time, so that the people who are dying to figure this out and anticipate playing on the new courts a chance to wet their whistle, so to speak.
Council, do you feel it would be advantageous to extend this to the end of the month? You've already extended it to the end of last year. Would it be advantageous to extend the use of that tennis court to the end of the month?
Or do you want to extend it until the other ones are done and usable? Because I don't know whether, if it rains all for the next 2 weeks, would that, just a thought.
And maybe there's some that don't want to extend it either, so it's open for discussion.
Yeah, no, you guys get to figure it out. I just figured if we didn't ask, the answer was gonna be no.
Just for your information, I get up to Otter Tail on occasion, and every time I go up there, I always drive by their pickleball court, see if there's anybody playing there. And I think the last 2 or 3 times I've been up by Otter Tail, I haven't seen anyone playing pickleball up there. So
It's
it may be
today would have been a challenge to be playing pickleball
It may be
anywhere.
advantageous for a place to play the game.
Yeah, that place in the hollow is going to be, because it's protected enough from the wind, people will, when it's like this and they're trying to find a place to play anywhere else, they say, no, you better go up Bell Lake. Want to make that a destination. Then hopefully, if you guys decide that's worthwhile, by the time we can get with the park committee and ask and answer any questions they have about if policies like that are set. I think one of them was, you know, people are already seeing the possibility, like, it's hard to believe, I was a runner once upon a time, but people would say, well, we'll hold a race. These guys are gonna go for a 5-mile run anyway, let's have a 5K and collect some money as entry fees, as a fundraiser, and give them a crappy shirt and it was a great way to raise money, and people are already, I think, trying to do that with the pickleball courts. And so it's our feeling that helping the city to the best we can take some other things into consideration when they and if they formulate policies about how the pickleball courts should be managed. And that's what the big ask of that memo was. I hope that
Okay, well,
makes sense.
go back to council here. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Do you wanna extend that, or till the end of the month, or do you wanna, I know we've had one complaint in the first 2 weeks of May, so I mean, it's,
Has there been somebody playing?
yeah. They don't read very well, I guess, is the only thing I can attribute it to.
I guess my thought is if we extend it to say the end of May, if we went any further than that, I think we're just asking ourselves to have people get used to playing pickleball there. Kind of a new season, new spot, is, you know, kind of what goes in my mind.
Yeah.
But also I understand if they, how many day project is it to paint? I mean, it sounds like you got 3-4 more days and then the pickleball courts are gonna be complete, is that
Well,
correct?
My understanding is once the people who are contracted to paint come and lay paint on, then it's got to cure for 2 to 3 days.
Okay,
And so they can't do that until the danger of a hard frost is passed. Because they're wasting their time and our $35,000 or whatever it's costing to put that surface on that concrete if they do it and there's a hard frost in the meantime.
yep.
So. Our ask of the city was don't let other people get on those courts until such time as we can get that surfacing done. That is, you know, it's a separate issue from playing down in Lions Park.
How we go about keeping people off of it, you know, it's,
Isn't there prep work going? I mean, what's the problem if people are on it before they start the work? I get once they start the work, but like, don't they gotta, I mean, they gotta clean it anyways, right? I mean, to do the prep work for the.
As far as I know, they will have to do that.
Yeah,
I
so
think
whether
the
anybody's on it or not.
enforcement's meant.
It's technically, you know, if you think about it from a liability perspective, it's a construction zone that's not well marked. If someone got hurt on that, we're not indemnified to pay insurance claim on a city park. If anything happens to someone dinging around in a construction site, pretty sure I could find a third-year law student who would take that case.
Yeah, so as we're speaking about liability though, I mean, and we get back to the reason we're here tonight. So I, regardless of the topic, right, I mean, there was a big back and forth, there was a study to prove it was an issue, and now you're asking for an extension of a nuisance, effectively what was deemed to be a nuisance down in Lions Park, right?
I don't know what you guys call it, it was not called a nuisance by the consultant.
I think they decided there needed to be mitigation though, right?
Well, without measuring the noise ever. There was never someone with a sound meter measuring the noise and the source of that noise down at Lions Park, other than those of us with that app on our cell phones.
I thought it was a pretty thorough study.
But he was charging you, he had to make it, he had to consult as many tables as he could about how sound travels.
today is pickleball court city property? Today? Right, okay. So what I'm wondering is what do we need to do to keep people away from if it's dangerous down there or not, I mean, I guess that kind of falls on the contractors too, to keep their, you know,
Right, well, this is not anything that we know or feel comfortable putting signage down there. And I've talked to Trevor off, you know, not in a public forum, but saying, you know, this might be something we could do. We could do it if you authorize us to put signs up saying keep off. We would argue it's our site until we've finished our work to give it to the city.
so it's not ours yet then? Is that
It's
what I'm hearing?
on land you gave to us, but what part of that court did you pay for?
Well, I guess I'm hearing it's ours, if there's an issue, it's ours, if there's not, it's not, is that what I'm hearing?
We feel like, once we paid for the concrete patio that'll be on there, and the surfacing, we're not the pocket that would get sued.
Okay. So then it is the city's,
If you're
Place.
worried about a liability thing, you would be named in a suit, once they figured out that we have, you know, it'd be like shaking the,
I'm really not worried about liability, we have a lot of parks in town
yeah.
that people can get
Well,
on
I'm
every day.
not-
My
to be totally
question
honest,
is,
I'm not worried either.
whose is it, cause I'm getting two different answers right now.
Well, I think the answer is if something were to happen down there, we could certainly get drug into it.
Well, sure, and like I said, we have 6 parks, it's really not an issue.
Well, and,
Yeah.
you know, part of the funds are coming through the city, like through West Central, so I think we could argue that it's already the
Yeah.
city's.
Well, we don't
I
wanna
don't know.
claim it, we just wish to,
Like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
ask for help in saying,
Yeah.
let us be proud and happy with the work that's done when we say, hey, we're having a grand opening and there's time for you guys to get there with whatever coffee and donuts you'd wanna have. It's like, we would like to do that, but it's, more importantly, we like to have what I put in that note was a soft open where we could tell people, everything's ready to go, come on down here. And
And we're not gonna get to that until next month, so,
yeah.
do you think we should extend it till the end of May or not at all? And I'm fine whichever way you guys wanna go.
I think we should be a good neighbor and extend it to the end of May.
Okay? Is that a motion?
Well, I thought you were first looking for ideas.
I'm looking for suggestions, yeah, that's a start.
Yeah, I'll say I'm good at the motion.
Okay, Marge makes a motion that we do extend that plane down there through the end of May. I can almost guarantee it's not gonna be extended beyond then. Do I get a second for Marge's motion?
I'll second it.
Ryan seconds. Starting with Ryan, yes or no?
No.
No.
Nope.
Yes.
Yes, I'll go yes
Yes, you
too. Don, yes or no?
No.
Did you say no?
Yeah.
We are not gonna extend it, so. We say anyone down there, kindly ask them not to be playing down there if it's folks you guys know, will ya?
Yeah, no, I think, when I heard there were people on the courts, and there were people that were part of the club, we know that we're waiting. And half of our board are joining us remotely. They're coming back from wherever they come back from, so.
Okay.
Thanks for considering it.
And we'll have more next month on.
Well,
there's
yeah,
other
now we're
thoughts.
talking about other things.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Then we'll go on to Mr. Mark Christensen.
Well, I guess you guys have my stuff all in your packet there, you got last week or whatever. I'm here to make, I don't know, an offer, whatever you wanna call it. I'd like to purchase some land that you purchased from the Stish family and in return, sell a chunk of land that I have a purchase agreement on with Tim Swedberg out here. You have all the particulars in your packet there. I think I've done a fair amount of research on it, and I think it's very fair with what I've got. You paid $525,000 for that parcel out there that I had reappraised by a Minnesota, or a licensed Minnesota appraiser, which came back at $280,000, which is a big difference. You told me right at the beginning, in one of the first meetings, that it really doesn't matter what it's appraised at, $525 is what you paid for it. I'm willing to accept that, I guess. I spent quite a bit of money on an appraiser, like you said, had Swedberg's appraised, and I would like to sell that back to you, or however we do it. And that appraised back at $345,500. Over the last couple months, I've heard numerous people tell me that property's not worth that, Swedberg's. If there's anybody that wants to spend $2,000 and get another appraiser, I'll listen to it. If it's just someone's opinion, it really doesn't matter to me.
John Maslow.
And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, it's just blunt, to the point. It's very fair. You did a great job with the appraiser. There's all kinds of stuff in your packet to back it. I guess, any questions or comments I'd be willing to answer?
I guess my first question I would have, Mark, your first deal, that property at $525,000, are you saying, would you buy that whole piece of property at $525,000?
From what you told me, I have no choice, so yes.
Okay.
And I want to be clarify that, the appraised came back at $280,000 on that.
Then my next question, on the price you were talking on, the Swedberg property at $345,500, is there any, because that comes to, like $14,500 per acre.
Yep.
Is there any negotiation on that price?
I guess I'd first like to ask the question, or not ask the question, but yeah, I'll ask the question. I think I was told you guys were offered or had talked about $10,000 per acre on another parcel just in town. The difference, this one's got some trees. This one borders State Highway 210, which is a trunk highway. I've discussed this before. It's got an approach on it. To get an approach on State Highway 210 is very expensive. You can't just put an approach in. You gotta find one in so many miles to take out. That's got a huge value to it. So you guys border that for commercial lots. You border 380th, which is paved. You border Front Street, which is paved. You have sewer on Front Street. The parcel out here that you had looked at has none of that. I think this is very fair, I guess, is where I'm at, Rich. Not saying I want to negotiate, but I'm not here to short anybody. I think this is very, for what I'm paying over above the appraiser appraised out there, I think this is very fair and very, I guess it's where I'm at, but as far as negotiation, yeah, I guess I'd be open to it. I really would like that parcel out there. I was out there the other day doing some tillage. My farm is right there. I got cows belling, and I'm out there 2 months out of the year. I got headlights out there around the around the clock at night checking cows. Put a bunch of homes next to me out there. They're not gonna like it. I got dust. I got cow manure. There's all kinds of reasons I don't want people next to me out there. And I would hope you guys would probably feel the same and think it's probably not best interest for citizens in your city. So to answer your question, yeah, I'm negotiable. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not stuck in
that's
one.
the answer I was looking for.
Okay, I'm sorry for taking so long.
Well, yeah, you gave me a little extra litany there, and I thought for a minute I was gonna have to come out and help you do some capping.
Well, you're welcome to vote over now, but. And I just see there can be issues down the road. Anytime you get egg next to the city, there are gonna be issues, especially when there's livestock involved. You know, it's dogs chasing cattle, it's kids touching electric fences, it doesn't stop.
I thought I had one more question I was gonna ask you, no, it's not coming to me right now, but you've answered my first two, and, you know, to be honest with you, I would love to see you having that, Mark, and, you know, some way we can work it out. I would be all for it.
I'll go back to, I think the value's in Swedberg's, I really do, for the city. Like I said, it's not nice, or not probably, doesn't look for me to be the one standing here telling you that. You got some great expansion in that direction. You're getting your water and sewer closer to Cliff Road. You've got the approach on 210, the 3 paved roads. Jade could probably answer this. I know Jade Paulson probably could. We did the tillage out on that field. It's a big bowl out there. I don't know how you're gonna handle stormwater and stuff out there on the 70 to develop that, to do that. When I tilled it this week, it sits in a huge bowl there. You're gonna have to spend some money on stormwater or lifting homes, I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm in the excavation business, I know a little bit about that. It's not that it can't be done, I'm not saying that. It's not gonna be a super easy development. And I think Jay Paulson would attest to that. So Jay Paulson and Joe Hammer probably done the bulk of your development in the last few years. I've talked to both of them. Definitely gonna need water, sewer, city water, sewer to do anything for them anyhow. I guess any questions you're gonna ask Jay or?
Council, any other questions anyone has?
Well, I don't have any questions, but I guess when I take and think about the two pieces, when I think about people who are going to be needing homes, I would be looking for homes and land that would be affordable. If it isn't affordable, then we are asking people that they should, you know, move someplace else or whatever. And I do believe, like out by Glendalough, you know, that could be developed over many years. But, you know, I think it's kind of interesting that, this is a little bit different, but Jay, your apartment building filled up already. It surprised, do you have a wait, is there still more people who would want to get in? But I mean, is there a waiting list also that have are asked about it again? Or you don't?
I guess not at this point, but,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I think that, you know, looking for $1 million buyers is a little bit more time consuming.
So I guess I'd like to expand on it a little bit, because I've been thinking about this, because they did a survey here a while back, or they did, Margie dropped stuff off. What does the city need? I heard a lot of single-family homes, what they need. And we've got guys like Jay and Joel that are doing, whether it's duplexes or apartments, but I'm gonna take the duplexes down here. It opened up a lot of homes to do the duplexes. Rich's house came for sale, Don's house came for sale. All these people that, not all, a lot of these people that moved into these places, homes just came for sale that were affordable for people in town. I know you did that study and it's probably not like done or whatever, but I think it's a good idea. I think Jay did a study back there, and I know I got some numbers from Dale last time that were talked about, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was 80-some units, Dale, in the last 10 years roughly. Give or take, right?
Yeah, I'd have to look back. I think it was it 80 or was it 60?
I thought it was 60-something.
64, I think.
In how many, in what, last 8 years, 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
And that, so a unit isn't a lot, each of Jay's apartments is a unit. He's got how many units on that lot over there?
Well, and that number is just projects that the city or the EDA were a part of. So we had other houses built at that time too. So there were a few other homes built here and there that
I think,
were not counted in
is that the 80 you're talking then, I think?
I suppose it could be.
That, you gave me a number, I think 82 if I remember.
I suppose, if you add all the houses that were built on top of that.
But to do it, to break it down into lots, so I can explain this a little bit, I don't know how many lots that is, but you know, it's, with his apartments and stuff, I'm guessing it's probably half or less lots that got developed. Jade's number is 110 lots on 70 acres. Take 110 lots, to do the math back to the units, there's 30 to 40 to 50 years of development at this same rate out there. I just feel it's a huge development for this size town. We're not far from Moorhead doing the quarter sections at a time.
Okay. We're good, Mark, thank you. At this time, does anyone want to make a motion or have further discussion on Mark's inquiry here?
I would probably just make one more comment. It seemed like this would be a good marketing thing also even for the school, that there is land to be made, affordable land to be made for housing in the town. Well, what do I have to do? I'll make that motion that we would, sell that property to Mark and buy, how will I say it right, buy the separate property.
Okay, can I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I asked the question and I
You didn't really need me to do it.
well, I did, but I didn't.
Okay.
I think what we should need is a motion to proceed to discuss and negotiate with Mark on the project and then maybe next month come back with,
I can make that
with
motion.
a motion to actually do something.
So from the discussions we've had over the last few months, it seemed like there was a consensus to kind of just pause things. We were gonna do a study, EDA was gonna take a look at things, and we were all gonna review what the best opportunities would be for the city of Battle Lake. So what if we find out the best opportunity is north of town and we sell the land? I mean, and then also going back to our legal guidance from last meeting, that financially this wasn't maybe the best fiduciary responsibility of the city of Battle Lake to entertain this deal. So how do we manage those items?
First of all, I don't think that pausing it was ever put into a motion or anything like that. I don't remember that I voted for anything like that, and I think this is, I think the other part was that this is another opportunity that came up in the midst of other opportunities.
Yep, and there's another opportunity I see on our agenda
Yeah.
for later in the discussion too. So,
Yes,
I mean,
there is.
the best solution may just be to sell this outright and do this option, I guess you could say it's 3.
Yeah,
So, I mean, maybe we don't even want that land, it seems, so I'm just trying to understand how do we go from 2 weeks ago, meet with the EDA to say, hey, yeah, we're gonna do a study, and we're gonna explore these and come up with good solutions, and to where we're just taking action, I guess, confused.
I must say again, I don't think it was ever said that we were going to do, I think it was said that this is one way that you could proceed.
No, I think it was exploring, West Central Initiative had done that. We called it a study, but it was more of a review, a comprehensive review.
the housing study that we did back.
A few years ago,
Yeah.
right, West Central did that, and we're gonna revisit that and have them refresh that, and that was probably gonna be back in September, roughly, and then we were gonna have further discussion on what the best options the city had at that time.
But I think also what we talked about with the housing study, it's going to tell, it's not going to be specific to
Yep,
property.
absolutely,
But
yep.
it's going to tell you what type of housing you need.
Yep, which was data gathering for
That's part
what
of
the
it,
best, to make decisions in collaboration with EDA on what we should do regarding this topic. So I'm not saying that this is a done deal. I feel like we need to know more to make the appropriate decision around what's best for the city of Battle Lake. And we went, to be honest, this has been a hot potato every month. We've been dealing with this.
And it's been paused for quite a few months already for various reasons, so.
Yep,
I-
yep, we
I-
should go
I
back
think
to
it's-
process,
I
I
think
would
it's
say,
time
and
we
meetings prior to us even
start
closing
getting
on the
the ball
property
moving.
that you were entertaining, Rich, to be quite honest. I mean, I think that was a large part of the problems we found ourselves in, were meetings prior to us even closing on the property. So, I believe JJ said to step in and cancel a meeting that you had scheduled back in September of 2025, if I recall correctly.
I don't recall that, if that ever
I'm
happened,
guessing he would,
but.
So I'm just trying to figure out like where we, and again, this may be the right thing to do. It absolutely might be the right thing to do for the city of Battle Lake, but I just don't know that we know, and that's what we've talked about over and over again for the last few months.
Well, and if I could interject a little bit, now you have another opportunity with Sanford, and it's not because we all of a sudden, we've been working on that project for like 3 or 4 years. And we finally gotten to the point where they are saying, yes, we are interested and we want to sell this property. So now you have another opportunity, and they're willing to wait a little bit, but I don't know how long they want to wait, so when you look at everything in the big picture, I don't think you want to wait. I don't think you want to wait till the housing study is done. But I think you want to look at all 3 of them, all 3 options, side by side in the next couple months and decide, and probably at that point, kind of get a better idea of which project or which area would be the best, or what idea, what you want to go with. But housing study's gonna take a little longer than I think you want to take on this. Like I said, Good Sam has interest in selling. Well, I don't know what their timeline is, but he didn't sound like he wanted to wait. He said he would kind of hold it for us, but, and give us some time to talk about it, but, I don't think he's going to give us 2 years to talk about it.
Okay, Marge, did you end up having a motion on the floor here yet?
Well, I kind of pulled it back here, but, maybe we should be meeting for, well, what were you saying again?
Well,
We were looking at
I was
specifically
looking
that.
at, a motion that maybe to talk further with Mark, see if he's willing to negotiate on a couple items there, and see if that would make a difference for us. That's one thing I think we should be considering, and then the other thing to be considering is now the Sanford property too is gonna be coming available, and, I would like to see us somehow be able to work out both deals here to some way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that's possible yet, but that's what's in my long shot idea.
Question, Rich, you got a second?
Yes,
So, to make this easier, instead of doing negotiations and stuff later, if I come to you right now with a proposal to sell, I buy that, you guys go to Swedberg's on your own, buy that, save yourself, I guess you ain't gonna save nothing, but get me out of the middle of it, is that something you guys are willing to do?
That probably makes more sense if they're willing to do that, but my understanding was that,
Why does that make more sense? If we sell it tonight to Mark and then we don't have any land.
no, if you decide to go that way, is what he's saying is
If
if
we
we
wanna sell it,
decide.
why don't we just put it up for public auction and list a reserve and just call it a day?
I think what he's saying is, instead of him being the middleman for the Swedberg property,
Yep.
that's where the route you wanna go.
I'll sure do that, we can do a coinciding closing date on both of them, I buy that from you, you guys buy that from Tim, I'm out of the middle of that. You got the appraisal, you know what he's gonna want for it,
You think Tim would be amenable to that?
I know he will, I got a signed paper right over here that says so. And that gets me out of the middle of it. And I hate to be pushy, but this has been dragging on and on and on. And now we've done this investigation that took 3 months, that found nothing. It seems to me it's just gonna drag on and on and on unless we take care of it and get it done.
what this says is, Tim Swedberg and Mark Christensen are in agreement to cancel their purchase agreement to allow the city of Battle Lake to enter into an agreement directly with Tim Swedberg, if that is the city's preference. The purchase price would be the appraised value provided by Davis Appraisals.
And gets me out of the middle of this, so it doesn't look like it's just so it's done, clean. And I hate to be pushed, and I'm not saying it has to be done tonight, but the longer this drags out, Tim's been waiting for how many months? Sanford doesn't even wanna wait a few months or weeks, Tim's already been waiting 5 or 6 since whenever we started, or 4.
Can I make a suggestion? That we take some time to do a little more, not time, but like over the next couple weeks, that you meet again in 2 weeks and have a work session on, just on this topic. And then maybe get a little more detailed numbers from Jade and look at everything a little closer, and then kind of put them side by side and look at what that.
And I have no idea what the Sanford thing is. As first I heard about it was whatever. Now, so I guess whether we sell that and buy Swedberg, or sell that and buy,
Good Sam?
Good
Yeah.
Sam or whatever, I mean, I don't even know what that is.
Well, that's,
So that's what I just wanna hear, but knowing that we'll sell that, but which one you buy it. So my point is, I wanna see what, before I say, yeah, we're gonna go into that, maybe we don't even want to buy Swedberg property.
Yeah.
So, but
with the Good Sam.
with a Good Sam
And like
thing.
I said, it's been in the EDA minutes and stuff over the years that we've been working, that we've been in discussion with them for a long time, and
Oh,
it finally
sure,
got
yeah, I
to
know,
the
right.
point where, and we just happened to have a meeting with them this morning, so I wanted to get that information out, because I knew that it would be important to any decision you make.
I think we should meet within the next 2 weeks and look at what our options are. We'll maybe know a little more about the Good Sam property in that time, and then come up
How big is the Good Sam property?
It's 57 acres,
Okay.
but,
with 55, wasn't 55?
it's.
54 point.
I don't, I'm not trying to make things take longer, but and it doesn't matter if we sell the property north, but to decide which one's a better spot, better fit for the city, it might take more than 2 weeks. I mean, or not, Jake, I mean, can you tell us what water and sewer and lot sizes and all that stuff fairly quick? I mean,
I'm sure that, why are we putting a self-imposed deadline on the council that, we've literally owned this land for like 6 months. And we're working as quickly as we can to get rid of it, and but all due respect, Mark, again, this might be the best thing for the city to do. I'm not opposed to doing the best thing for the residents of the city, but to be put in a somewhat of a corner to not to have to make rash knee-jerk decisions on
I'm not trying to
things.
put you in a corner.
You know, I don't think that's fair when we had a plan for development, things, certain plans didn't work out. We tried numerous things over the last year and a half that I've been up here. And then finally something lands, and in November, you know, we closed, when we inked the deal November 1st, and then November 15th, we have a proposal to sell it and trade it, and, you know, 2 weeks later, and I'm still sitting here like, we have not even had a thorough discussion. We met with the EDA a few times, but we haven't had a thorough discussion on, okay, let's get our plan together, the things we've talked about as a council earlier last year before we even looked at any land, and assigned Rich and I to be the representatives that actually work with anybody with land transactions on the council. You know, we never even got that opportunity to come back together once this property closed to go, okay, let's come up with a plan, and I know there was a proposal with 100 and some lots, but we all agreed, like, that was never the vision for out there at all, so now we're basing it off of proposals that are in our minutes that we all agree aren't even close to what we would have even envisioned in any new development within the city of Battle Lake.
Well, I think that part of the situation, we have not had these opportunities in the past. Like, I mean, a lot of them just have come up all
We
at
are
one
making
time.
the opportunities, though, this council's making the opportunities, and that's, you know, that's not, quite frankly, Swedberg's won't come up if we wouldn't have bought that land, right? Right, Tim wouldn't be here today, you wouldn't be here today trying to horse trade land, so this council is making opportunities by our
But I
actions.
think, but it's been done in the past too, Derek, before you were here, we had been working on some of these things as well. And it just so happened that now all things are coming, you know, on
We
board.
have put extensive effort in 2025 into making a land purchase come to realization. Rich, how many, we were at 3, 4, 5 different meetings with landowners trying to discuss?
Yeah, and
different
which has,
things.
like I said, we've been.
I'm
we've
not
done
saying
that.
they haven't had in the past,
Yeah,
I'm saying we
yeah.
put extensive work in 2025 to get to where we're at today.
Mhm.
And I think we owe it upon the residents and the money we spent of theirs to follow it through with a vision. And again, the best solution may be to sell this land to Mark, and it may not to be by Swedberg's, it may not have any other transaction related to the sale of this land to whomever purchases it. But we know we have Mark that's interested, I'm guessing, and again, not to push things, but I'm guessing in 6 months if we came to you and said, hey, we do wanna sell it, you probably wouldn't. I mean, maybe Swedberg's is off the table, but I'm guessing you would be interested.
More than likely us, but I don't wanna wait that long, guys. This has drug on so long already, and here it is again tonight, it's taking more time than it should on here.
So what would be
I'm
wrong
not
with
saying it hasn't
actually
happened tonight, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying tonight, I'm just saying months.
Yeah.
My
So what would
thought-
be wrong with having, is to taking, you know, the time in a couple weeks, have that second council meeting of the month, and prepare, I mean, we just found out about the Good Sam property,
Yep.
just found out about that today, so it's hard to make a decision, but really look at, in 2 weeks, spend some time comparing everything. And then you can decide if you want to move forward with something, or if you wanna do more studies, or what you wanna do, but rather than trying to figure this all out tonight, to
I'm
me, it
fine.
makes sense
Yeah,
to,
I don't mean to be pushing tonight, no, not at all.
that makes my sense.
And I certainly agree that, yeah, we need to talk about it more as a group. And I'd just soon do that within a couple weeks than a couple months.
And I agree, and the reason, I'm not so much wanting to find out more information about this property north of town, that's, we beat that horse to death. I don't even know what the Good Sam property was even a dollar value, let alone and nobody knows what the infrastructure dollar is. So,
Right.
it's not so much the property north of town we need to pump the brakes on, it's with, but these two properties
Right.
that we need to get more information on.
Yeah, absolutely,
I don't
and
even know that
that's,
we need to know, we don't even have enough information to ask Jade the questions on what he should be
Right, I have no idea.
gathering data on, right? So,
Val called me right away after this came up this morning, and I did,
So,
it
yeah,
is in
here's a
your
little-
agenda.
I mean, is there
But
some,
it's a very, I
very good.
don't think we have to have a lift there, cause I think we can come off of.
that's what I was gonna ask, how many lift
Line.
stations do we need? We don't
But-
need any?
But I don't know for sure, because that land does roll so much to there, that you'd have to verify, if we did it, we just need it more for the westerly edge, because that section of the lift, or the, right off the, so the east of where the pickleball courts are being built, that's where kind of the deepest stuff goes into your main lift. So, off that east side of that pond, there is a deeper sewer manhole. Now, not having all the contours, I'm not positive, but I roughed it in with something right.
In 2 weeks, Jade, can you get pretty,
We can dig a little bit more into that. I mean, so this is roughed in without a lift station. You add a lift station to this, you're adding $250,000. But the one nice thing about this property is, this was discussed in 2017, 2018, prior to us putting in that water main loop. So there's already a water main running through this property. So that saves big transmission lines there as well.
Right.
But, and then just this rough layout right now that you see on your map, that's, the smaller lots would be roughly 100 by 150, but some of those lots are pushing 25 to 30,000 square feet, just because of the layout of the land to try and fit.
Is it like this part right here, that's,
It's a
not-
wetland, so,
That's wetland there, what about like the
and
south?
I haven't really done anything with that. side.
Okay, okay.
And that's
So that's a possibility as well?
a possibility as
Okay,
well.
okay,
Sewer line runs there.
Yeah,
what's
the
that?
sewer line, yeah, the sewer line runs through,
Okay, and honestly, it was, like I said, we had a meeting this morning, I called him quick, I said, if you have just a few minutes just to do a rough thing so we can throw this out there as well, because I think you needed to know what was, that this was a possibility.
and in all honesty, the number per lot surprisingly works out about the same for pretty much all three. Granted, it's 117 lots on the north property and similar lots, few less around Sweatbird property than this one.
Okay, can you say the numbers, Jade, of what, how much on each section, not per lot, but totals?
Totals for.
On the
for
sewer,
what?
on the properties?
As far as,
Just the total water and sewer that you just said, I didn't catch all that, you said something about the lots were about the same, but the amount.
the average assessment, if everything was assessed, was relatively about the same.
Right.
Sweatbird was probably the lowest.
And what's the total package price there?
I think it ranges from roughly 42 to 50.
But 2.some million, right?
Yeah, 2.1 million here, what was,
I'm pulling them up here, it's in the packets as well.
1553 for the Sweatbird,
And how much for the one up there?
6 point some.
6.some million out there, 2.some million here?
Yep,
but we didn't explore all options.
yep, we gotta look at these
So
more.
there's a lot more options than,
And again, this was just a very rough, quick, easy, something to get on paper.
so we didn't have a scheduled council meeting for May 28th, which is, or is it the 27th, in 2 weeks. So our next meeting was June 9th. I'm not available that Tuesday, so I would request that we find a different date other than that Tuesday,
what date aren't you available?
2 weeks from now, which is the Tuesday, right? And I would want the EDA there. I think the EDA needs to be a part of this discussion too, to keep the collaborative effort going that we have. So the 26th is 2 weeks from today, and I'm not available.
You wanna push it out a week to, the next, first part of June? Before, cause it would be good to do it before the June council meeting, right?
That'd be June 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I see any issue with that one right now for me, but that's, it's just one person here.
Ryan, think June 2nd work for you?
I got nothing going on that I know of.
You got everything.
Okay. Text your wife quick, I should probably text mine.
Right.
So
I don't do our
we'll set it
calendar,
up,
but I do know the 26th.
we'll set up as a special meeting, cause it's not a regular scheduled meeting, so.
What
Pardon?
was that? June 2nd would end up being planning commission if we have that.
Right.
Well, do we have to have it on a Tuesday? I mean, can we have it Wednesday, instead of the 26th, have it Wednesday the 27th or Thursday the 28th?
We haven't had a need for planning commission meeting.
I don't, do you see any, have you had any?
Possibly.
You do, okay. So how about that Monday,
Well, how-
That's Memorial Day, the Monday. Oh, you're talking the Monday after that.
June 1st?
June 1st, okay.
How about that Monday? Let me,
Fine with me,
okay.
Mark. Don, June 1, okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine. I would just like to have that meeting just for that instead of making every council meeting drag out for an hour and we talk about the same stuff. I would just like to soon get together, just that on the agenda and figure something out.
Okay, sounds good.
Or Tony, are you available on June 1st?
I gotta be here?
Be nice if you would be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is at 7 o'clock again, we do?
And then I will get a hold of the EDA members and hopefully most of them can be here as well.
Sorry about that, I do have my calendar though. Okay. Then, let's go on here. Jay, do you want to go into more information now, at this point? Sure. Okay,
I think you gotta, don't you, see if there's any more visitors?
Yeah, open forum. Maybe open forum.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Open forum, if anyone has something they want to speak about, now is the time to do your speaking.
I'm here with Dave from the Park Partners and just wanted to be part of the process and just express our concern of the impact of having housing adjacent to Glenville. And we've had a lot of feedback from local people that have heard it through the grapevine and just concerned about that. And so we just ask for you to be mindful of that when you're taking your considerations on this.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Anyone else? Jay Paulson?
Mr. Mayor, just to add, in the housing discussion, I was gonna add, that I think the city can come out like a hero if they hit a home run with the housing, and if you don't, then you're playing developer, and this could be not so good. You'd be pointing at, what did you do, or what we're doing with the city dollars developing. And I guess I'm just not sure of the end goal of buying land to develop, or solicit then developers to come request for proposals, or is the city gonna take it the distance and start playing?
No, so, I mean, I don't wanna speak for everybody, I'll speak for myself. The council already decided that there'd be RFPs to develop, we're not, I have, my position up here is no intention of being a developer. So the people came to us, numerous people came to us, said, there's housing, you gotta do summer housing, you gotta do summer housing. Okay, let's do something. We have the power to do something, let's do something. We looked at various properties. The goal was always to do an RFP with developers and see what they would do, partner with one of them, and provide housing opportunities within the city limits of Battle Lake.
The short answer, Jay, no, we're not into development.
Sure. So, and I guess to that end, if it was versus what I feel more is in town, the Swedberg parcel, or all by Glendalough, I would say in town for walkability, city services would be pluses of why I would think in town, or the Swedberg property, or this other parcel, Good Sam, would be more targeted. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Jay has been one of our biggest local contractors that's done projects in the city of Battle Lake the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm very grateful for what he's done for Battle Lake. Okay, no more open forum? We'll move on then. Now we'll get to Jade, where I was trying to go before.
That's all right. As you can see, the street and drainage improvements have been going on now for the last few weeks. Concrete's been constructed on Henning Front in the downtown alley, and that little section over on Jefferson Douglas, some drainage. Otter Tail aggregate is in the process of preparing the subgrade for paving, including backfilling at the alley and the other improvement areas that have concrete installed. Lucky for us, road restrictions north of Highway 10, which is where the paving contractor is coming out of, are being lifted tomorrow. So everything south of 10 were lifted about a week and a half ago. And so everything north of 10 will be lifted tomorrow, which actually is going to allow the paving contractor to get his plant operational by week's end. So next week, we'll be seeing the milling of the various streets that are included in this project and paving of the alley and kind of touch up on front and ending everywhere else. That's kind of the 25/26th Street and Drainage Improvement Project. The change order for Summit Street improvements, so in front of the school, has been executed, and work on that roadway is gonna kind of be done in conjunction with the school in that July, early August timeframe. So that's the current project there. The Nature Trail environmental review through SHPO and a couple other state agencies is submitted and will need to be finalized prior to bidding, but that's in the agencies, and we'll wait to hear that back and verify that we can dot all the i's and cross all the t's with the various funding that came out from
You
the
think
grant.
we'll be ready calling for bidding like in June yet, or is that too early?
Possibly, I found out that we don't have to send it to the Office of the State Archaeologist, which was a breath of fresh air, because we've been waiting 9.5 months for them to reply. So, SHPO's usually pretty good, and that's kind of the one that takes a little bit longer. Water supply planning, we do have a signed agreement with a private landowner, to allow for temporary access for water sampling on the site that we've been targeting. With that, Timewell did submit a proposal for 2 test wells on the property. So Timewell does all your maintenance on all your wells, and that's who Trevor's worked with on pretty much everything. They're one of the more reputable well contractors throughout the state, I would say, and if we could work with them, that's what we'd aim to do. So they submitted a proposal for 2 test wells on the property. Now, the reason for these test wells essentially is to drill 2 separate 6-inch holes on the well, test pump them, see what the aquifer is doing, see what the water is drawing down, and test the water chemistry to make sure that we're getting what we've tested on all the neighboring properties around that area. They sent this over on Friday morning of last week, and I had requested an updated one for a little bit more information, primarily including updating the pumping rate by about double to get about 400 gallons per minute, so we can truly see roughly the city's wells are in that 350 to 450 range, and I wanna put it under a real condition to see what we can do. Adding about another 10 feet to the well screen down underwater to make sure that we're able to measure that aquifer depth a little more, and include some various other items like site restoration, cleanup, and then updating some discharge hose. So right now, I haven't received an updated proposal. I was hoping to have it by today, but I have not got it back from them yet. But that will increase the dollar amount, and I don't wanna hold this off for another 2 or 3 weeks if we get the authorization, just so we can get them out there and have them do this work right away. So I'm requesting that the council may consider authorizing city staff to sign a proposal for roughly this number plus about $15,000. And granted, all of these funds would come through the MPCA grant that the city has, which there's quite a bit of money still sitting in, to my knowledge.
Yes.
I don't know if you wanna,
Would it make sense to?
Yeah, let's make that motion right now to, go ahead and proceed with that.
Should we say up to 80,000?
I was gonna make a motion for $80,000.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're that.
So Ryan makes a motion for $80,000 on this project. Do I have a second?
A second.
Marge seconds. All those in favor, say with Ryan.
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
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 Don?
Yes.
Thank you. Carries 5-0. Back to you now, Jay.
and then the last one is for the lead service line replacement. So there have been inspections on 21 of the 24 properties that were identified in the city's lead service line inventory. Of the 21 inspections completed, 7 have been verified to be galvanized, which will require a replacement, and 14 of the properties have been inspected and they actually have copper water services, so they won't be replaced. We're trying to organize the time to get to these last three, tried door knocking and tried other contact methods, but the goal is to get to these over the course of the next month. So we can finalize the project and get all of the letter galvanized services out of town by the summer. Or by, well, it'll have to be next summer, because my next item is, we submitted all that funding application information back on March 31st for the project, and based on our discussion with the state agencies, they've indicated that a formal authorization will not occur at least until mid-June, if not toward the end of June. Now what that means is that's the first step. After that, you're authorized, then you can go out to bid. Then after you get bid numbers, it takes them 2 months to prepare the paperwork for the funding. So with that said, realistically, they come back to us end of June and say, go ahead. We're probably looking at bidding this thing August timeframe, but if that's the case, what we'll do is we'll just say it's a contract that has to be completed by August 15th of 2027. There's 10 of them. That way your local contractors can do the work and not have to push them all from September 1 to October 15 in 1 year. So that's kind of the idea, and everyone's gonna be under this world statewide because they got flooded with applications at the end of March, which they didn't see coming for some reason, so. But, any other questions?
So if they said mid-June, that will be mid-July for the most part.
They have to have them completed by fiscal year.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Mid-December.
amazing how many certifications I get that last week of June.
Yeah.
It's like how we could certify 8 projects in 1 week, but I don't see any others from March 31 till June 25th.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll go on to the approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Don makes a motion for the approval of the consent agenda. I will second that motion. All those in favor, starting with Ryan?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, carries 5-0. Thank you. Then the next is on the department head meeting. Adam had something, was it one other person he's potentially looking at, I think, as.
But he wasn't ready with her.
No, he
so-
wasn't.
No,
he
he
wasn't.
didn't tell me
No.
that.
But his monthly report is in there, they had a decent month again, so we're at least up about 6% year-to-date on the liquor store, which is, it's nice to see, because we needed a rebound from where we ended up last year. Trevor, anything? No.
Street sweeper, have you gotten it?
Yeah, we're working on figuring out how to use it. We had some training the other day and he told us we need to fix a few things, so I had to order some parts. Hopefully next week.
How about for, we've talked about this a few times, just big ticket projects, future, maybe like AMR, AMI, that'd be nice to see that looming over us.
Yeah.
Is there any other big projects that maybe it's a takeaway from tonight? What are the big projects that the city needs to address in the next 5 years for public works? I mean, that may be one of them, but maybe, I mean, not, replacing park stuff or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the big, like,
That's one.
multi-million-dollar.
Adding streets.
Streets, yeah,
East side.
yeah, we'll be discussing that more moving forward with probably with the street committee meeting within the next 2 months.
Okay.
Reviewing all of the streets, just to verify, because if you think about 03, 04 was
Yep.
the majority of everything in town. Roughly on average, maintenance really starts to circle at about 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
So those are very, very, very big ticket items.
Yeah, so and then just the, but the committee, I mean, I think there's a water and gas committee, is it two separate
Two
committees?
separates, yeah.
Do they need to get together to talk about our metering solutions?
Probably could, that'd probably be best.
I know not in the near term,
Yeah.
but maybe before the end of the year to try and lay a
Right.
path on
Before budget season, maybe.
what are we doing for meter replacements and how are we gonna manage through that? Cause that, I mean, that makes me a little nervous.
Yep.
Cause it's not that the meter goes bad, it's that all the infrastructure, back-end technology is out of date, and that's where you're gonna have a problem. It's not the meter measuring the water, it's not the
No.
meter measuring the gas, it's all the infrastructure to get meter to cash
Yep.
out the door so we can keep the bills rolling and keep the service provided is what worries me. So,
That'd be probably a better, good discussion with maybe even the joint
Yeah,
water
sewer, gas.
and gas, sewer gas, cause you're gonna do water, right? Makes sense to look at gas too, get it all on the same
yeah,
system.
it's probably gonna be the same infrastructure,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, admin, anything? No? Police?
Dealt with 59 calls for service, and then also would like approval for the purchase of 2 portable squad computers, which we do have a whatever you wanna call it, estimate for that. You guys can review that.
So I would just give it, is that like a tough book then, like a hardened,
It's
more durable than the average notebook, right?
correct, yes.
Okay. Maybe they are tough books.
And that's
Yeah,
one,
it's-
that's one from Baycom.
Yep, and this is the same dealer that we've been dealing with ever since 2012-ish, I would say.
Looks like they have the state contract
Sure.
on it too, so.
Right.
So 5198 is the bottom line on it, if I'm reading that right?
Correct.
Can I get a motion for the chief to, should we purchase those two?
So moved.
I'll second.
Don made the motion, Ryan made the second. Starting with Ryan, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Don? Yes.
yes.
Carries 5-0. Thank you. Anything else, chief?
That should do it
You got the city all under control?
for the most part.
Attaboy. Okay, then going on to, committee reports, economic development, anything you have to offer on that at this point?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anything from Blackford, Ryan?
No, just a very simple, quiet meeting last month.
Okay. Let's see, Sharon isn't here anymore.
I was there.
Oh, okay,
There at the LACC.
yeah.
Yeah. Just kinda getting committees formed for summer, Winunga, all the other, maybe anywhere, stuff like that, nothing else too much.
Okay. The visioning project, is there anything you wanna say on that?
Yeah, well,
For
we had that,
March?
yeah, do you wanna, I mean, we had that, event at ABC Brewing, which was, I think went well.
Lots of people.
Yeah, and, Fernando and Molly and I met on Friday after that, so the survey link should be done now. And so what's gonna happen now is, over the next few weeks, Molly and Fernando will be kind of pulling together this report, so at the end of the whole project, we'll have this report saying, this is what we did, and this is what we learned, and maybe some recommendations. So, we will have another, meeting with our full group, that first Wednesday in June. And then, that we should be done with that project. And now we'll have another tool to use for, that would, I think, you know, if we do a housing study, then, that could assist with that housing study. And I'm working on getting, some proposals for that as well.
Okay. Airport committee report, Derek, anything you wanna
Yeah,
go over there?
we can, so the group's been meeting over the last, couple times over the last few years, but they finally went through all the bylaws and there were some changes that they requested. They are outlined in the documents that are in front of you, and then the rationale is, there's some language at the end of ones that are removed, like the aircraft landing fees, it's never been charged. So they recommended removing it. The committee, which is composed of Ryan and myself, felt that was fine, you know, to not have stuff in there that if we're not enforcing it, we're not charging it. It shows a pattern of not taking action. So if we were to try and take action, we would have a historical pattern that we've never been doing it anyway. So how can we impose those rules on somebody when we've never done it historically? So, and these are things that we can revisit, you know, at a later date if there were to be issues or were to be a need to revisit them. They tabled all discussions on the restroom type activity that had been brought before the council before. So I think all that stuff is tabled and they're doing some more research on that. One of the main ones was in the fueling restrictions, where technically it was prohibited to even bring a jerry can or anything onto the airport and fuel any piece of equipment, whether it be an aircraft or a lawnmower or what have you. So that was revised to allow fueling out of like a can, so somebody can, you know, actually do that. We are running into some complexities with that fuel tank that we still have yet to, my understanding is we have not purchased it from Wapaton, but we approved the purchase of it. But it wasn't double walled, and there's some things they're finding out that aren't exactly how they thought they were. So they're kind of revisiting the bigger fueling project that we thought we were gonna do last summer, or that they would like to have done. They're kind of revisiting that and then gonna bring it back to that committee, is my understanding. So really in front of us today is just the revisions to the bylaws.
It's a city code.
Or the city code,
Yeah.
okay, and edits to that to make them more appropriate for how the airport is actually ran. I don't know, Trevor, if you have any comments related to them, as you're the airport manager, or any corrections on how the meeting
I
went?
think it went great.
So-
I agree with you. Take the stuff out that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
so I guess what the committee would be looking for from the council is adopting the new policies,
And then, yeah, the amendment.
the amendments
To the airport ordinance or the city.
to the airport ordinance, if all, unless there's any questions from council members.
Can I get a motion to approve? Am I correct when I say city code
Yeah, yep. It's part of
on the airport portion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second Ryan's motion. All those in favor, starting with Ryan?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
You're yes on that?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Okay, then under the natural gas, the May rate is 96. Comparing it to last year, it was 101. So it's pretty good yet. Then going on to the resolution. 2026-05-012A, revised the fund transfer from December, and Val, if you wanna say anything about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed on this agenda, I tried to put a little bit more information on things just to make it easier for you, you know, as we're moving forward. But I didn't even think about doing a formal fund transfer when we used the $300,000 from liquor store investments for the land purchase, but they just suggested that we do it to, you know, cover yourselves on that, so that's what that one is about.
Okay. I'll make the motion for 2026-05-012A, that we approve that resolution.
Second.
Marge seconds. Ryan, starting with you?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Donna, you yes? Yep. Motion carries 5-0. Then the next item, which Tony was going to look into, and am I safe to say we haven't got anything coming from you yet on this?
Yeah, nothing definitive. I ran into some personal issues I had to deal with, so it prohibited me from finalizing a complaint process and procedure. However, I believe by the June date I'll have it finalized as a proposal. And the League of Minnesota Cities, in fact, many other cities actually have similar, similar, I guess, procedures in place for complaints. That, so, which, will, and I believe we need to adopt, within our city and explain that. So I will have a formal update and presentation at the next council meeting.
Okay, thank you. Request on the, changes to the utility billing. Bill?
So this is really in effect, I wanted to change to this policy, so it's what we talked about last month is with the county only allowing us to certify at the end of the year, so I wanted to make sure we had it in the formal policy, so it matches with the decision or the process that we're using, so just and then a couple other small changes that we noticed. One of the things, like if you go to page 119, where it talks about natural gas rate charged to all customers that have connected to the system. Well, if there's no longer structure there, we've had a couple, like we had a trailer house that burned down, and so if there's no structure, we haven't been charging that base rate any longer, so.
I thought it goes with the property.
But and I wonder if the ordinance doesn't state that, if the structure has been moved or gone.
But I mean, I guess we're getting to, are we talking property, which is the lot, or the structure on the lot?
The structure on the lot, because now there's no meter there any longer.
Okay, so so let's say a house burns down, someone buys an empty lot. It had natural gas, it doesn't have natural gas anymore. Do they have to put natural gas in it or not?
I suppose that would, they.
Because if you have a house and you sell it with natural gas, you have natural gas.
Yeah.
But if the house is gone,
I would say it's a customer's choice then.
That's what
I
I,
mean,
Well, but-
yeah, so
so-
I see where you're going.
yeah, I mean, especially trailer houses or houses that aren't worth nothing.
Yeah, well, that's,
So I don't know, my opinion, it stays with the lot, it stays with the real estate. Cause that's definite, of houses come and go.
but do you think they really, well, other than the trailer park, you don't usually have a
Well,
situation.
and I'm not saying today or tomorrow in 10 years, but in 50 years, when who knows what it is, and you got some guy that's got a house that's hooked up to natural gas, and that's not the end thing to have.
Well, we're gonna have a hard time collecting, from the people who own that.
Right, but when you hooked up to natural gas, you were told, it is
Well, but
a
I'm saying
forever
that
deal.
it's not the same thing, because, so going back to the trailer park, because those mobile homes are taxed, but they're taxed different, or called personal property. So
Yeah.
once that is removed, now you have the land, but the land is owned by the person who owns the whole mobile park. So,
I'm just seeing
I don't
kind of
know how you
I'm
do
seeing
that.
a way out to get out of natural gas.
well, I'm not sure how we would handle that. If that mobile home is gone,
Yep.
and the people who own the mobile home are the ones that signed up for it, and now the land underneath does not belong to them.
Right, but if, let's say my house was that way, and I have a house and I decide I'm gonna have natural gas, I'm gonna sell my house. The person that buys my house does not have an option to
Right.
not have natural gas.
You're right, yeah.
So, but we're gonna give it to empty lots, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I see it more of the use, I mean,
No, if we wanna say, if there's a transaction on property, that we start over, then that's fair. But to be able to have an out without a resident or a building, I don't think it's fair.
I'm just not sure how we would handle some of those, with the structure being gone, especially in that situation.
And I know maybe, and I suppose it's a pain in the butt if you sell a property, if someone wants natural gas or not, but I think it's gotta be one way or the other, I think it's gotta be,
Well, I think it's only happened once or twice where we've had either a fire or, I think this might, I wonder if is that the only one that
This
we
is a
really had?
unique one. The
That's a
trailer
very
park's a
unique
unique
one, yeah.
Stubbs was the same thing.
Yes, that was the other thing, Stubbs,
Once it burned, we didn't charge.
we didn't charge him a base rate any longer. I don't know where you're gonna, I don't know where you, and you're right, 50 years from now you might see it, but for the most part, most people would take advantage of that. And 50 years from now, could be a whole different scenario as far as that base rate, everything will be paid off, you know, things might look a lot different at that time.
I even think about it as if somebody tears down a house to rebuild, tear it down, gas meter goes away.
Yep. Now,
There was no event there that,
Right.
you know, and now.
Oh, a 110-year-old house had natural gas, someone tears it down and gonna build a new one, doesn't want natural gas, for whatever reason, it's America, he wants to burn wood, but nope, you gotta have natural gas.
Well, so that would be a different situation, and that's something
How
that
so,
we
what
could,
if they tore it down and let it sit for 2-3 months? So there's no structure there. There's no structure there,
If they tore it down and there was no structure there, we've done that in the past, not charging the base.
Yeah, so now it's the consumer's option to hook back up if they
Yes,
want to
and if
or
they
not.
don't wanna hook up, I believe we charge them for the entire discontinuing of that service back to the main. And they
So
pay
are
the
we
full
doing-
cost.
Do we do that on other
Are we
ones
doing that for these other ones then? The
Yeah,
trailer
when
house?
stuff's burned down, we charge her back for discontinuing of it.
So why don't we just do that at the trailer court and then call?
Well, so they don't know how that works when we can't charge a trailer park, the trailer house owner.
You have to charge the park owner.
and so we've been
That's what
able
we need
to,
to know,
Which is
because,
that, then that's not our problem, right? We put either charge them or put it on their taxes, and then it's up to that person to go to
but if the
their
mobile,
tenant, whoever their tenant was, and say, hey, this is the cost of closing out your relationship with us.
so we've been able to assess to the mobile homes themselves. We've done a couple of those, and the county other said you can do that. But I don't know if we can also assess it to I don't think that we could assess it to the property owner of the mobile home park.
so currently the mobile home that burned down, the meter is still just sitting there.
Oh,
We never disconnected, cause I assumed there'd be another trailer house coming in, but there hasn't been.
and there may be one in the future.
And I mean, there's a lot of scenarios, I mean, it's not just in city limits too, I mean, it's out, it's out in the country, I mean, there's many reasons why someone might not want natural gas.
Yep.
And it has been for 10 or however many years we've had natural gas, once you've hooked up to natural gas, you have natural gas at that property.
I'm actually more concerned about the non-residents, because that's where our infrastructure costs are stranded.
And it's not a revenue bond, it's a GO bond on top of it.
Yeah, so we have these consumers that are not paying taxes and paying the infrastructure, and then all of a sudden they get off our system with some loophole. And now we have stranded infrastructure for residents that are no longer using it, and what do we do there?
And I agree, it's not gonna happen very often, it's not. But then you can also argue, well, then it's not gonna happen very often, it stays with the property.
Well, maybe instead of, maybe it needs to just be a council approval. Once it comes to a point where there is a unique situation, then maybe that decision needs to come to council, rather than,
Maybe
you know,
this language could be
yeah,
strike through and say something to the effect, you know, unless there's council approval to discontinue service or something like that.
yeah, I could do that.
Maybe that would be a better way to
Yeah, that might,
put it, to forgive costs, stranded costs, and discontinue service for
Yeah.
such a customer.
okay, that makes sense to me.
Cause then it would be the onesie twosies would come to this board and we would just act on it based on
And I
what
think,
information's
I
provided.
think that also you want it to be, that the structure no longer exists. You don't wanna have a loophole that anybody could come and say, I wanna disconnect my service, you know?
Yeah,
That
that's-
just,
that's
it
probably
just,
fair.
yeah.
Cause then we would get requests, I suppose, and we'd all have to deny them or whatever.
Okay, do you want me to amend it and then bring it back? Are you okay with me making that change?
I'm okay with you making the change and it'd be done.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve these with an amended change to the disconnect. The disconnect of the services if there's no structure there pending council approval.
I'll second that. Starting with Ryan?
Yes.
Derek? I'm a yes.
Yes.
Don, are you a yes?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay. We wanna talk on the succession planning, and Val did a change to job description. Do you wanna go through that, Val?
Yeah, I mean, I redlined, the changes, and basically it was, a couple minor changes based on, I thought the language wasn't quite right, and then also just taking out the EDA director part of it. So it wasn't a lot, it was really just striking out most of it, and that was on page 122, that portion of it. And then there were a couple changes that I made, you know, instead of just administering, I put and oversees, because there are some parts that I don't have, I don't do the items, but I'm responsible and I oversee or might be part of the process at the end of the process, but, and then the other change, that I thought might be helpful, on page 125, minimum training and experience, associate's degree in finance, accounting, business, or closely related program, or a minimum of 5 years experience managing financial administration. It's not always about the college education. Somebody might have been at a job for 10 years where they have that better experience than somebody coming out of college with that associate's degree.
So would it be, I think the language is reasonable, but would it be more appropriate to just have or equivalent work experience? I mean, you get somebody with 4 years, you know, and just, is 5 years truly a timeline that proves competency in managing financial administration, or is it more or less equivalent work experience determined by the hiring team?
I think that's.
Well, I think, and I get that, but I think when you're scoring applications too, that makes it a little more difficult. I think you do wanna have some sort of minimum, because if somebody's just been in a job for a year or two.
Right, no, my thought is, and I don't know about public versus private, but if it's public, let's say that the best candidate's been in a job for 4 years, okay? And I'm a horrible candidate, but I've been in my job for 6. Guess what? I'm gonna sue the city of Battle Lake because they did not follow through with their, right? So keep it vague.
Yeah, I don't think you should put 5 years in
Okay.
there. I think you should put like, you know, and then moreover, it'll also assist with your candidate pool too. And once you vet the applications, then that should take care of itself. Versus potentially having a situation that Ryan said, well, they didn't follow what they're supposed to in a public situation. So, I mean, we can make it, you can make it more, I guess, vaguer, but to your point. Does that make sense?
Sure, okay. I can reword that.
And then number 2, there's, maybe that's legacy language, but there's a definitive time in that bullet 2 as well. I don't know if that one would be reasonable to address that too, or do we, I mean,
Yeah, I can take the 5 years out of
that
there.
would be the same trigger point,
Right.
potentially.
Well, and when we go through so we have, when we go through the applications, there's a supplemental application, which we haven't done for this position yet. But the supplemental application actually asks a lot more detailed questions than the application does, so then it helps the committee score, the applicant, but, so you might have, you know, how many years experience do you have in this, and you might give somebody a higher score because they have, more years. But yeah, I can take the 5 years out of there to reword that.
So the other thing, I don't know that we need to belabor it today, but so this is a supervisory role, right? So how does the FLSA status, how does that fall as non-exempt? It's an administrative supervision role, more or less a managerial role. How could that, why isn't that an exempt job?
It can be, but it hasn't been. So the council can make that determination whether they're going to consider it exempt or not exempt. It could be, but they have not, so any of your department heads, we've all been under that exemption. So,
Non-exempt.
non-exempt. And so that would be more of a, that's why it's listed in there.
Yeah.
It's not anything we've ever discussed as far as, you know.
Well, I think
council-
we should, and I mean, especially when we're posting a job and going through it, I think we really need to consider that and identify why wouldn't it be? It's a managerial type role, a leadership role, a supervisory role. How is this not an exempt position within our organization? But I don't know who would pull together, I mean, if that's is more of a legal question on, I mean, I don't, does the council truly make that decision? I don't, isn't it just the
No, it does.
determination of the job? It's the job.
No, it doesn't have to be, the council can make that determination but in order for it to be exempt, you have to fit the certain criteria. But you can have it as non-exempt.
But this would fit that criteria, right?
It would,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you have to do it that way.
Nope, understood, and
Yeah.
it could still be a non-exempt hourly classification too, which is effectively what it is today.
Right.
So it could be an exempt hourly employee, cause that would still fit as well. But, so I think that's something we need to consider too, as we look at this job.
So, and then the other thing, and I don't know how much you wanna discuss this tonight, but at some point soon, I would like to have a conversation about how we want this to look. And I did put in the phased retirement information and how that would work. And like you said at that meeting with the EDA, it makes sense to me, whoever gets trained in or whoever takes this job, rather than me working side by side with them full-time, that it would be phased retirement. Now, if it continues with economic development, that's a conversation we can also have. But I had always thought that phased retirement might make sense as we're training this person in. And beyond that, we can, like I said, we can have a conversation on how that would look. But just so you know, this is how the phased retirement works.
Okay,
So how do you want to move forward? Do you, I guess the biggest decision is, what do you want to do with economic development? Do you want it as part of this job? Or consideration of, maybe either that consultant or
I personally like it within Battle Lake. I mean, it's Battle Lake Economic Development, I mean, it's, I just kinda feel the county can do what the county wants to do, or some other town can do what some other town wants to do. This is Battle Lake, I guess I feel, whether it's arrogant or not, I feel we'll watch our Bob, or they can watch their own. And I know you get to a smaller pool because of that, but I feel that way. We're making decisions for our community. It should come from our community.
I in general feel that exact way too.
So are you saying that you want the job to remain the same, or you want that as a separate piece?
I think that's something a little bit different. isn't it?
Right, yeah, that's why I feel, I don't wanna contract with the county.
It's not the county, it would be.
Or-
it would be
That organization.
Yeah, I don't wanna, yeah, correct. Whether we do, how we come up to have the EDA director is a different issue of who we're gonna get, you know what I mean? We're gonna get somebody from here.
Well, it would be ideal, I think, if it was a person just like you who could do both jobs, but we aren't necessarily thinking that that is the way it could be. But maybe if it could be you as part of your retirement to do part of that for a while, and maybe that clerk could work into that job too. So,
Correct.
I think so much of it hinges on
Who we get for an applicant.
who do we get for an applicant?
That's exactly right. So I think we get our clerk treasurer, see how, I guess it's not, maybe it's a he, whatever, they, them.
just
And-
one person though.
correct? And see, go from there.
Do you want it as, would you want it as, this is what we're looking for this, but this could also be part of the job, like it continues, or like, you know, this is what, you want this person to train into that?
Maybe we have to start the opposite way, you know, would you be interested in, being part of the EDA director for a year or two? You know, or with so many hours per month or.
And you're wondering how to word the job description for how they're hiring process.
So-
And with possibility of EDA director within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and I
In the future, don't have, not even a certain amount of time, just with the ability to be EDA director in the future. And we'll leave it there.
Or period before that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as both of you, I think it's a clerk treasurer job that we need to get finalized and
First.
posted. And then depending on the applicant, there might be growth opportunity, whether it's EDA or, you know, even planning and zoning. A lot of these balls have been tossed back and forth between some of our department heads to manage, and there may be other growth opportunities for this person to take over some responsibility from other areas. But I think the main thing would be to get the clerk treasurer job description finalized and get it posted and see who applies and
yeah,
go
so
from there.
here's my other, I just wanna throw this out there too. If, depending on how you can figure it, there might be an opportunity in-house, you know, for, that Carolee might be interested.
Yep.
But
I would say, you know, in my opinion, it would be a clerk treasurer job in the description of, you know, growth opportunities for more responsibilities to be determined or assigned at a later date, because that may be the reality of it, we just have to assign these. But I strongly feel it needs to be posted, and whoever wants to apply can apply, and if there's people in-house that wanna apply, I think it needs to be their choice to go after a job, and take that effort to submit their application for review, you know, regardless of internal, external, what have you.
so, like what we did with Trevor, is he didn't, there wasn't an application, we did not open it up outside of, you know, he was just promoted within. So that would be my question then. And I don't know if she's interested, and maybe employee relations needs to talk about this further, just to kind of come up with some ideas.
Yep. Well, my personal opinion, someone that's been here knows, it's a lot of value right there.
Oh, very much.
So, but we don't even know if that's what she wants, so I guess we gotta find that out first. You know, we knew Trevor would wanted to move up to Public Works Director.
Yeah, and I would suggest I've been in similar scenarios too, and folks that may feel like they're more appointed, you know, that wears off over time in some situations, and they find themselves in a role that I didn't even want this job anyways, you guys want me in this position, so I find that in the hiring process, it's much, it seems like it's much more amicable between the parties when somebody has to apply for that job and go through the process and say, no, I do want this job, I know I want it, that's, you know, the job description I would like to do, and I want the growth opportunities, whether internal, external, but, you know, it just seems like it, in my opinion, it's appropriate to post. And if the internal candidate wants it, I would encourage them to put their application in and go through the process.
The only thing I think
A lot of value there, a lot of value on it.
the only thing I think about is so past practice, we've done this. So is this a little bit of a slap in the face to somebody who's been at this job and now we.
Why? Was there a guarantee of promotion to this?
There
role?
was not a guarantee, but it does say in your personnel policy that it is an option for you to do that. And we have done that with Chris and with Trevor.
Did you
And I
make
feel-
her fill out an application, Trevor? No? Okay.
No,
I don't think Chris did either.
no, he didn't.
I don't know if
And-
Steve did.
Steve, That was a whole different situation.
Well,
Yeah. It wasn't.
for the
even a
sake of tonight,
possibility then.
we're kind of wondering about, who knows if even if it's something, it's a possibility, you know what I mean? So let's find out first and then we can decide if we wanna
Well, I
make
think that
new rules or
I'll work
how
with
that
employee
works.
relations on it and we'll come up with some ideas and come back with that.
Okay. Next item, we talked about already on the tennis court use for pickleball, and we did not continue that. Natural gas settlement, we got money.
Maybe I should, that wasn't natural
PFAS.
gas, I'm sorry. That was
Oh,
PFAS.
PFAS.
I-
PFAS,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah, it is.
yes. So I wanted you to know that we just got another check and they just, you know, so the 3-ounce settlement, remember we got that early buyout situation, so that we've been paid out fully. Well, there might be more coming just because we have issues, but now we got a settlement from Tyco that came in the mail this last week, last month. So I wanted you to be aware of where we're at with that.
So the Tyco total one then was 37,965, am I
Well,
right?
what we got out of it was 26,966.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after we paid all the
Yeah,
fees.
one of them heavy duty ones.
Okay. Then, you wanna talk about the Good Sam property?
I think you're gonna talk about it June 1st, so.
Yeah, we are.
Do you want any more information now? You wanna know the dollar amount probably.
Sure. Well, whatever everybody else knows, I guess.
Nobody knows anything, except
Okay.
we had a meeting this morning.
Okay.
So nobody, I put it on just because it, you know, so what they're asking is, they had an appraisal done on it and he said it was 575,000 for the, 54 acres is what it is appraised at. So that is what they would look for. And we didn't ask about any sort of negotiations, we were just gathering information this morning on the phone call. So,
Who was on the phone call?
it was, so Randy Dorn was on it. He's been, even though he's not EDA president, he's been part of this for the last 3 or 4 years as we've been working with them. And then myself and then Sharon Casey from the EDA. So it's been an EDA project gathering this information and, you know, just trying to come to some sort of, you know.
Well, we've talked about this at this level.
Right,
I
yes.
mean, last year, and Rich, you were gonna reach out to Good Sam and.
Oh, yeah, and I have.
Yeah,
I think the
they-
council's
so
been talking
these-
about Good Sam since whatever,
Yeah.
2004, whenever that
Yeah.
3-story building went up.
Yeah, so what had happened is the EDA decided a few months ago that we should send them a formal letter. And so that's what we did, and that's where the ball got rolling. That was about 6 months ago, maybe? Would you
Probably,
say?
yeah. Enough info for you, Ryan?
Perfect. And I think the only thing that I would bring up with that is that, you know, my sketch was just something very rough. So if
Sure.
people have other thoughts or other ideas, I'd be open to hear those. But I just did something simple and it leaves a lot of property that we aren't even using out of it right now, so.
So we probably wanna do, you know, a little more detailed work on all 3 of those properties.
Yeah, and with, I mean, I've even the last 4 or 5 months, obviously prices have changed. I looked at those estimates that we did for the Swiper property and for the Stitch property, and I adjusted those numbers when I utilized them for this today, just because of inflation and oil prices.
Yeah,
Did you say on this piece, a lift station would be necessary? Is that what you said earlier?
I'm not positive.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I tried to look at some of the contours that are out there, but it's really rolly through there. And so that's really gonna depend upon how much of it gets developed and which lots we do. Cause I mean, if you look to the west of the city's main wastewater pumping station, that's a big hill. And it's quite a bit lower to where all that line's coming from, so you can probably get a lot of this stuff there. It's just
And I'm sure it all depends on how you develop it too, how you lay it out.
which
whether you-
ways you come and how you come through there, but you don't wanna dig a 20-foot hole through the top of that hill to run your sewer deeper if you don't have to, cause you're gonna pay more for that then, so. And I know at one point there was there has been things that ran through this property over time, old, mechanical wastewater stuff. Was there a drain line that ran out of here at one point? And that's all gone, right? Didn't all the sewage run down there and then worked its way up to the pond to the northwest after being treated? I think I found an old map on that from many years ago.
I think we've heard.
Dr. Klein could probably answer that question.
Yeah, that's true, and the pipe is still there, that never got taken out.
They never got taken out? So we got half the infrastructure there already?
Yeah.
For the MPC, we just say, hook it up.
Okay, but we'll talk about that more in June 1st, I think it was. Okay. Then on to the new business, the limited waiver form. This is in conjunction with our city insurance, and we've always had the opportunity to approve it to waive or not to waive the monetary limit on liability. Which way we had it, because we.
Does not waive.
Does not waive. Because if we would waive it, it would give us the option to have a higher liability limit than do not waive. But we've, for a number of years since I've been here, we've always done that do not waive, because we didn't want to have to pay $2,500 or $3,000 extra premium to go the other way.
So it's just an annual form, do it every year,
Yeah, we have to waive.
nothing's changed, status quo, make a motion to approve.
To not waive?
Well, to,
Do not waive.
you do not waive, I guess, or
Yeah, you have to
Yep.
decide which way you're going.
to,
That's what
to
you're-
not waive the monetary limit on liability
That's-
insurance.
That's correct.
For the waiver.
Get a second?
I'll second.
Marge seconds. Starting with Ryan.
Yes.
Yep.
Eric, yes.
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Yep, carries 5-0. Thank you. Then the next one is the resolution 2026-05-14B, allowing prepayment of claims. Go ahead, Val.
We prepay claims, and that's okay, but we haven't done a formal resolution allowing it for quite a few years, so I just wanted to update. And then it talks a little bit about the ACH and stuff too, so it's just an update on process.
So I will make the motion and we approve that resolution 2026-05-14B for allowing the prepayment of claims. I get a second?
Second.
Brian?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then, let me see here. Third item there, approval resolution 2026-05-14C in support of the Prospect Houses grant application. They have made a request for support for a grant application to the Minnesota Historical Society. We have a gentleman here in the back, I think, that has patiently been waiting. Well, maybe impatiently. Anything you want to say regarding that grant?
Just appreciate your very much the city's past support of the organization. This grant is just to get the detailed architectural drawings. Before then, we need funds from sources later on for the actual building. But we're not asking the city for any money at this point. We're just asking for your moral support in our grant applications.
Okay,
What the request is.
thank you. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
2026-05-14C, Marge makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Don makes a second. Starting with Ryan.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Then a formal complaint on the short-term rental. There is information here that we have a neighbor that seems to be a little excited already, but we have not even received a request from the property owner. But talked with them and I understand they plan to submit one, so. It's in the packet here and,
I'd had Tony review stuff, and he said there really isn't any of her concerns are unfounded. I mean, there's nothing that there's no reason for us to deny their
Because
application based
we
on.
don't have we're not at the limit, correct?
No,
Right?
No, I think we
And
have
nothing to deny 'em.
7 or 8.
the way you guys passed the short-term rental use ordinance, is that if the person qualifies, if we have
Right.
availability and they qualify and they get their permit, and, you know, we have a pretty strict policy on what they must do and comply with, and
Mhm.
if she has a concern at that time, then makes a complaint after the issuing of the permit, and if her conduct violates the short-term ordinance, then action can be taken, but nothing preemptive.
And it hasn't not been being used as a VRBO.
She hasn't even applied for the short-term, so it's moot.
When I read it, I probably read it wrong, I thought it was being a VRBO already. It's not,
No, it
okay,
hasn't been. It's
So
just,
got it.
yeah.
You know, I struggle with something like this, cause part of me says, why is it even on the agenda? I mean, cause if they haven't even applied, who knows if they will, I get there's a complaint, but for the awareness side, it's almost, you know, it's nice to know, but maybe it's more, could something like this be handled in the email blast to the council for awareness versus having it on an agenda, cause it's not even
She actually at first requested to come to the meeting.
that would've been fine, if she came here and got on the agenda, and we would've
But
said.
then she said she wanted this, asked that this be presented to the council, and she said it all in her email. So I think for openness, I think it's okay to have it on there, like, you know, I think and awareness, just because having it in that open meeting rather than you just getting an email,
Yeah, but I
informing
mean,
you.
the property in question hasn't even applied for it, so it's kind of like, what are we even talking about?
right,
So, I know.
no, I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying, but,
I,
Yeah, if they applied, that'd be one thing.
yeah.
Does this have to go through planning commission at all?
Okay, then we'll move on to the, request from Ringdale Ambulance. And I think we probably all saw the letter on the request that they were requesting from the city of Battle Lake, $13,422 on an annual basis to support them. And they had sent out to townships, to municipalities, to anyone they thought they could collect some money from, I think. And then there was the letter in here from our county commissioner.
yeah, I just emailed just what he had said, because I had asked him at what had actually happened at that meeting is,
And-
did the commissioners ask them to go ahead and to actually give them a direction to move forward with invoicing? And he said, no, if you read that email, then that's not what happened. They did not give that directive, but,
This is just basically the same letter we get everywhere. They're looking for donations.
well, it's the last couple of years, yeah, it's just been the last couple of years, yeah. Trying to,
And what I always struggle with is, you got a privately run business, and then they're asking for money from all these public entities, and I have a problem with it.
No, I know, when I went to that meeting last year, and, I feel the same way. They did say one thing, and I gotta give them a little bit of understanding there. You got tons of private industries that make money off of government dollars, you know, schools, roads, bridges, I mean, there's a little bit of that, but yeah, it is for a for-profit business. But so are a lot of things that make money, that they, that contract with governments, whether it be federal, state, or local.
Yeah, and we know that, you know, I don't know the percentage, but there's a lot of these entities that aren't providing anything. I don't know about this year, historically speaking, they haven't. And this doesn't fix the overarching problem. This doesn't get to the root of the issue with that industry,
Right.
so. The $13,000 they're requesting is.
It's like putting a
doesn't
Band-Aid on a
move the
chainsaw
yeah,
wound is
it's
what
not
that
even a Band-Aid,
$13,000 is gonna do.
Yeah, so.
Well, do I have any strong feeling to support their cause here? If not, I think we'll just let it go.
Okay.
Curbside pickup, you wanna dwell on that there, Val?
Yeah, just, we had it in April, the net cost to the city was $16.08 with 16 residents using the service, which is, last year we had 24 with the net cost of $19.11. If we, then, the biggest cost is like the first, they charge $1,000 upfront for their time and stuff. So if you had 50, you would, would probably pencil out a little better. I'm not sure if it's something you want to continue. It doesn't seem to be utilized enough to be, worth spending the money.
I know last year when we talked about this, we said, well, let's try it another year and see if utilization picks up.
And it went down.
It went down, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody gets a postmark, so they know about it,
So, yeah, I think we
Discontinue it.
discontinue it for the time being, and maybe down the road it would spur interest again, but council, what do you think?
I agree with that.
Eric Marge, any strong feelings? Don, any strong feelings?
I agree we should discontinue it. If nobody's using it, why have it there, so.
Okay, I think enough said, thank you. And then on this, commercial zoning application for Art of the Lakes, they want to, put a concrete deck behind Art of the Lakes. Any of you folks have gone by the work they're doing on the alleyway there, it's gonna be very nice.
Yep.
Once it's done, yeah, it is looking
Is it
good.
gonna be more of a patio? I mean, or is it?
Yeah.
The one I see deck,
It's just gonna be a big concrete patio.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that, Boathouse is
Yeah.
doing too, so. Suppose we should have a vote on this one
Yeah.
now, huh?
Yep.
Is there a motion for the Art of the Lakes?
Make their motion.
Marge makes the motion.
I mean, all setbacks, everything, no concern, nothing at all from zoning.
They're 100% impervious.
Okay.
They're gonna be 100%, everything flows.
There's no setbacks.
There's nothing under it that we need to
Make
break,
sure.
there's nothing under it for as far as, utilities?
We'll have to move the gas line again, but we moved both houses yesterday, so.
Okay.
Your experience.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll second Marvin's motion.
Okay, all those in favor, starting with Ryan?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
John, are you in favor
Yes.
of this motion? Thank
Yes.
you. Carries 5-0. I didn't skip over anything. Next meeting is June 1, and that is gonna be dedicated to discussion on, what we're doing on property here. And then the next council meeting is June 9th. And I did skip over, we did have a thank you note from the Battle Lake Food Shelf for the $1,000 donation we sent them. Folks, the hammer's going down.
See you, Don.
Let's all take them tonight.
Good night.